which means okay. All right, that'll work. Right. Okay, that'll work. Okay. All right, that'll work. Love you, bye. Lotus is first. He said again, what's up, Randy? Hello, Lotus. Sorry, I am running very, very late. I was trying to, Stephen had a little problem with his car, and I was trying to, Stephen had a little problem with his car, and I was trying to get him up and going. So, anyway, Olivia says hi, hello, and Lotus says, hey, Olivia. Three Wheeler says, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, Three Wheeler. Carlos said, what's up, y'all? Pops, Olivia, Lotus. Lotus said, hello, Carlo. Let's see. Olivia, let's see. How far am I off here? Olivia said, don't apologize, old man, for it. You had stuff to do. We can wait. Well, I do appreciate it, Olivia. I really do. I hate when I tell somebody I try to do something, I try to do it, and it comes up. And like I said, Stephen's got a long drive ahead of him, and I wanted to make sure his car was right before he left. So we got it up to going, and he's on his way. John Deere, hello. John Deere says hi. Or should I say American Eagle Outdoors? Or should I say Jacob? Which one should I say when you're on this one? Watch me be calling it the wrong one. Yeah, Carlos said American, hey American woman. Let's see. I've been called worse. There you go. Hey, Blue. Hi. How you doing? Jane says hi. Oh, guess what, Jane? Let's see. People says hi. Jane says hi. Oh, Olivia says I've been working on a new pencil drawing. Cool. People said good. I'm glad you're doing good. Thank you for stopping in. Jane said hi, Jacob. People said hi again. John Deere said, what's up, Jane? Three Wheeler says, hey, Jane. Jane said, what? I'm live. Yes, I'm late. Let's see. Don says, I like those names behind you. Thank you. And your name can be up there too. For $4.99 a month, I will put your name on that wall and your channel and out at the road. Let's see. Carlos says, hey, Jane. Olivia says, this one is a full body this time, and I'm having a bit of fun with it. Cool. Jane said, "Hi, Liv." Lotus says, "What's up, Jane?" Jane says, "Hey, Mama Bear." Let's see. Dar says, "Hi." Would that be Darling? Jane says, "Pops, we just like seeing you. We don't care what time." Well, I like to say, if I'm going to do something, I do it at the same time every day, but life does come up. So, thank y'all for waiting. Carlos says $4.99 a month for advertising. Geez, yeah, see, I can get your channel up. Now we can step it up a little bit. Y'all can help the channel out. Hey, we'll do whatever. I do appreciate it anyway. Never know. Might help one day. Jane says, "Hi, Carlo." Mushbag says, he has had some gas a lot today. 917 times, poor fella. Person, whoever it is. Lotus says, and I pay for it, and I appreciate it too, Lotus. James says, "Hi, Lotus." Three Wheeler says, "Welcome in, everybody. Just rolling in. Make sure y'all are liked to the stream and subscribe to the channel. Both are appreciated so much." And Three Wheeler is exactly right. Davin said 6-7 twice. D says top 5 vegetables. Davin said 6-7. He likes the number 6-7. James Mushbag better out than in. Jane said, "Hi, Davin." Jay said, "Bald guys are usually gay. Are you?" I am not gay, so. But thank you for the info. I'll make sure I'll watch out for bald guys. Neely says 6-7 Cummins versus 6-7 Power Stroke. Jane said, "Hi, Three Wheeler." Lotus said, they juicy them mush bags." Three Wheeler said, "Rude, Jay." Man says, "Grandpa on crack." Nope, just high on life, buddy, but I appreciate it. Jane says, "Hi, Neely." Rumpel says, "Hello, Pops, what's up?" Rumpel is that we got a lot done today. We actually got the lift going today and was able to put some vehicles up on her and get things going. It's been a good day. John Deere says, "Hi." Rumpel says, "Hello, Jane." Hello, Lotus. Carlos said, "Stop with the 6-7. It's getting annoying fast." John Deere says, "I switched to my main channel so you won't get confused." Well, I was just making sure. I remembered it, but you didn't respond letting me know that I thought I might have messed up. But you're fine. Either way is fine with me. I appreciate it. Let's see. Khan says, one advice you would give yourself younger: make yourself happy. Don't worry about everybody else. Make yourself happy. That's what I wish I could have told myself years ago. Jane says, "Hi, man. He's too chunky to be on crack." Thank you, Jane, for calling me fat. Three Wheeler says, "Hello, Zamrump. Good to see you." Lotus says, "Do you have faith in your turbo?" Rumpel said, 6-7 brain rot is really getting out of hand. You're exactly right. I used to think, zombies was just a TV thing, but with this young generation, I believe zombies are out there. Jane said, "Hi, Rumpel." Lotus says, "I rode Three Wheelers back in the day. We had a Honda ATX 250. Carlo, I rode them back in the day too. Them big old balloon tires. You could hit a tree head on and just bounce off." Jane said, "Pops, did you say the lift is working?" I did. I went, "Nah, I'm sure that the pump Daryl gave me works. I just don't know what I was doing wrong. I think by it sitting down and riding, I think the pickup tube might have dropped off. I'm going to have to take it apart, see if I can put the pickup tube on." But I had fought this for so long. Randy run across one on V4, and it was $250. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I fought it, and I'll try to use the pump Daryl gave me for something else. And I just bought a new pump. I put a new system on it, and it fired right up, and we've been able to use it today. John Deere said, "Lotus, I'm going good to kick your butt." Rumpel said, "Three Wheeler lover, hello, nice to see you." Olivia says, "I may have a 10-minute car But watch me, I'll make it a 10-second, Lotus. Lotus says, Lowell, John. Jane says, Lowell, Pops, can you see I'm not on crack either? uh, Three Wheeler Lovers said, that's cool, Lotus. Let me see. Matt, Jesus loves you. Well, thank you, because I love Jesus. Rumple said, what's that three-wheeler car? Slingshot, I believe it is. I believe that's what you call it. Mate says, hi. Carlos says, you're calling Lotus, Carlo, Pops. I'm sorry. It was only fair. I called Lotus on everything, so I was trying something different. I'm sorry. I get in a hurry. My apologies. Sorry, Lotus. Jane said, you guys need that lift to work. Glad you got it fixed. Yes, Jane, we do. Mate says, Jesus loves you. Wimby says, hi. I hope I said that right. Three Wheeler says, what do you mean, Zamrump? Well, right here it says Zarump. If you're, I was just making a joke because I call him Rumple. It's Rumpelstiltskin. I just call him Rumple. Where am I at here? I lost track. Sorry. Wimpy said, hi. Lotus said, whatever, rich girl. Jay said, hi, mate. Olivia said, we were going to retune the Subaru and see if it can get back to what it originally was before I had it. Daryl said, lift working? Yes, it is. I got to use it today. Carmen said, hey guys, hello Carmen, thanks for stopping in. Libby says, I'm not rich, Lotus. Wimpy says, Jesus loves you. Lotus says, he does that, Carlo. Yeah, I do, I'm sorry. Jane said, hi, Rachel. Three Wheeler says, Metal Art, my man, long time no see. Lotus said, it's okay. Rumple says, oh, got it. Slingshot car, three wheeler. I want one, but I want to take the rear wheels off and put it, the rear wheel off and make it a four wheeler because it looked like a little F1 car to me when you do that. I think that's cool. Lotus just means he's thinking about you. That's right. Wimpley says hi. Daryl says three. John Deere says, dang it, I meant Faith, stupid autocorrect, dang. Three Wheeler says, hey. Carmen. Rumple said, Metal Art, hello. Lotus Rumple, they are 80s three-wheeler ATVs. Polar says, did you ever go to jail? Never been to jail, never been arrested. Carmen said, Cache joined the live. Can Man, sorry. Three Wheeler says, metal. Jane said, hi, Carmen. Lotus says, we don't have them anymore because they were unsafe. Hunter said something wrong, so Daryl deleted it. Deleted the message. Carlos said, yes, I like it. Let's see. Three Wheeler says, my profile picture, if anyone is wondering what I mean. See, Metal Art said, or Daryl says, no politics. Rumple said, Lotus, we still have three-wheeler automobiles called autos. They can call Tonkin, Thailand, and the Philippines. Peddler says, hi from Sweden. Hello, Sweden. Randy says, we have a three-wheeler frame or two sitting around. Lotus says, can you show that pic, Randy? Lotus, was that you sending that to me? I thought that was Jane sent that to me. I don't have it saved. I feel bad. That's why I told Jane, guess what? Let's see now, where am I at? Bob said, is three-wheeler said three-wheelers are not unsafe. The riders are. You're exactly right. Rob said, yapping. Jane said, hey, R3. Rubble said, Lotus. Oh, yeah, there was a boxy three-wheeler car in UK back in the day. Wasn't much stable. Saw it on Auto Car Show. Daryl said, 100% three. Randy said, hey, Jane. Lotus says, hey, I like riding them, but they are tippy. Lotus says, yeah, so is a hoverboard. And they didn't outlaw that thing. Lotus said, my dad broke his neck on one. He hit a washout on the beach. Mike, hey, everyone. John Deere said, they Long Ranch garage. Daryl said, we used to race Odysseys in the 70s. Lotus said, that's it. Jane said, oh, geez, Lotus, I was going to say, saw I get tippy on two, but you were talking about feet. Three-wheeler said that was called a pigeon rumple. Rumple says, I've personally lifted three-wheelers which have gone turtle on multiple occasions. Lotus said, Robin? Okay. Olivia says, Lotus, I had a color idea for the Genesis. It kind of bold, and I don't know if you would pull it off. Rumble says, three-wheeler pigeon. Oh, nice. Mike said, I miss riding them old three-wheelers. I don't know how many times I've tried to put my leg down and the back tire run up on it. Oh, man. I think anybody's ever rode one's done that. Jane said, hi, Mike. Olivia said, it's bold and different. Rumple said, Mike, hello. Lotus says, I ain't painting it Barbie pink. Mike says, hi, Jane. Rumple. Lotus. Olivia said, silver with red pinstripes and a special red race stripe. Three Wheels says, that seems like your dad's fault, Lotus. No offense. Rumble said, hey, those Italian three-wheeler bikes are awesome. Two in the front, one in the back. They kind of tilt to keep contact to the road. Olivia says, not Barbie pink. John Deere says, how are you doing, Long Ranch? Everybody hit the like button. Yes, please. Please hit my thumbs up. Lotus said, not fond of red cars. Olivia said, no, the car is silver. Three-wheeler says, oh, I know that's plain Long Ranch, by the way. Hi, Long. 1, 2, 3, 4 says, hi, sir. Nope, it ain't 4, it's 1, 2, 3, sorry. Hi, sir. How you doing? Libby says, and it can be muted to your taste. Jane says, oh, you're going to chrome it, Olivia? There you go. That's a good idea. 1, 2, 3 said, hi. Olivia said, no. Mike said, hi, Lotus. Olivia says, get regular silver. Mike says, hello, John Deere. Hayes says, say hi to Hazel. Hello, Hazel. Daryl says, Olivia is a closet crone. Yes, she likes it. She just don't want to say it. She don't want to admit it. Mike says, aloha, Olivia. Three-wheeler says, Can-Am Spider are a great example, Rumple. Olivia says, how many fingers long? John Deere says, hope you're doing good, Metal Art. Carlos says, hello, Mike. John Deere said, what's up, big boys? Rumple says, if I get a car or bike, I'll paint it Vantage Black. Mike says, hey, Carlo. Jane says, lol, Daryl, that's the difference between silver and chrome. The damn sun. Lotus said it's plain to keep clean. It's a pain to keep clean, but I kind of like it white. I wouldn't mind doing paint corrections. It though. Daryl said, not doing much today, but I'm still here. Ha ha. Carlos said, what's up, John Deere? Mike said, hey, Daryl. Daryl said, silver is dull next to chrome. James said, Daryl, you feeling okay? Levy says, no, I'm not. Well, maybe a little bit. What we got in here? 14 people, 18 thumbs up. We had a lot of new people in here. Thank y'all. Y'all touch that thumbs up for me, please. Please. Rumpel said, three-wheeler, oh yeah, Spider, but they are more like ATV looking. Italian one looks like a regular bike. Jane says, I know, Daryl, I was just grumbling about how the sun hits chrome and no one can see. That's what Olivia was saying. It was, she didn't like about it too. Daryl said, fee fine back hip is out. Getting better now, though. Olivia said, chrome might be too bright for day, though, and way too reflective and expensive. Three-wheeler says, I'm not new. Okay. I'm sorry. There was some other people in here too, though. I mean, what was it? Who else was in here that I haven't seen in a while or didn't see? Let's see. Hazel, right there. I don't remember seeing them before. 1, 2, 3. I think I've seen 1, 2, 3 before, but I'm not. But anyway, let's see. Olivia said, silver will push that red. Daryl said, from under the dash of an Apache. Olivia said, silver. Three-wheeler said, just saying, you're fine. Daryl said, he's been here a bit. Dennis said, good evening, everyone. Hello, Dennis. Olivia says, and make that red look good. Olivia said, hi, Dennis. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in here. I was just saying to some about the new, and we get a lot of regulars. I do appreciate everybody coming in, even if you come in when you can. Like I said, I appreciate it. Three-wheeler says, hi, Dennis. Good to see you. Lotus said, I have thought about wrapping it. I think if they had it wrapped before I bought it, the car was coated in glue residue. Jane said, hi, Dennis. Clip says, y'all hired? No, I'm sorry. Randy and I both work for the railroad, and this shop here is our side hustle. We do sell tires, wheels, dabble in exhausts, and we work on our own stuff. Hopefully we get the spray-on bedliner machine going. I'd like to start getting into doing that some too, since I got the machine. Levy said, if done right, that's why I said it might be a bold attempt. Rumpel said, Pops, you seen those shirt vehicles? It's pretty cool. It goes on snow. No. Swamp, ice, water everywhere but one. Not by one. I've not seen one. I'd have to check it out. I'll have to get my Google search machine working on that to see what it looks like. Three-wheeler says, we appreciate you going live. I appreciate y'all coming in and spending your time with me. It's just me on this end and all of y'all on that end. I do appreciate it. Y'all really make me feel good. Y'all do. I swear to you, y'all do. It really makes my day. I actually asked Randy to put up a post saying I was going to be late today because we had some things going on. But anyway, Olivia says, we will wrap it. Painting and decal gives more creative freedom. Three-wheeler says, those ain't cheap, Rumpel. Lotus says, anybody else see in 2.4 hours of Lamont's? Rumpel said, three-wheeler pops rich. Lotus said, because I don't own a paint booth and I can't afford Daryl. Life says, please shout me out. Is it Zeb for life? Is that what it is? Zeb for life's in the house. I hope I said it right. Anyway, three-wheeler says, lol. Life says hi. Daryl says, R3 come in today. He was here. He left about 4:30. Madison had to work tonight, and the way we got it set up, somebody has to be there to help him get out the truck. So he had to call it an early day and go on home. So Madison can help him get out of the truck before she went to work. Let's see. Lotus said, yeah, because I actually got video of him, the lift in the air and him working under the vehicles. So he was happy. He actually got to do work under the vehicles today. He fixed Steven's car and worked out. We got under the Fireball for a little bit. We changed the oil in my SS. So, yes, we were able to use the lift, and Randy was able to be under it and working. So he was very happy. Libby said, that's fair. Sorry, Lotus. Jane said, Daryl, you have a premiere tonight? Rumpel said, be right back. Daryl says, I do. 50 minutes. Jane said, okay, thanks. Daryl said, that works. I was hoping you'd say you didn't, Daryl, since I was late. But we understand. I don't blame you a bit. Let's see. Jane said, well, what truck is he driving? You get his fixed? No, Jane, we've not even taken his off the trailer. I let him drive my SS. There's 3 trucks sitting around here. If I want one, I'll drive one. I'll either drive my dually or his big truck. So there's trucks here. I just let him drive my SS. He can get in and out of it pretty good. Daryl said, awesome. The SS, yes. Carlos said, I hope Junior is able to walk again soon. Carlo, he's got a physical therapy Monday. We're hoping they let him get out of that damn chair and see what he's going to do. I believe once they give him the green light to get out of that chair, he's probably not going to see much of it after that. I can tell y'all, he's about seen enough of it. Three-wheeler says, all right, y'all, I got some late night chores to take care of, so I'll talk to y'all. Take care and talk to y'all next time. Well, three-wheeler, thank you for stopping in, and I'll try to remember next time. I apologize, but thank you for coming in. Talk to you next time. Let's see what I don't know the name of this, but on New Year's Eve I am putting firecrackers in beef and eat with it the firecrackers. That's probably not a good idea, but if you do that, please film it. Rumble says, what SS? Shelby, I know another SS, but that's from Germany. No, I've got a 2006 Dale Earnhardt Edition Chevrolet truck. It's called an Intimidator SS. There was 933 built, and mine is number 301. That's what I call it. It's an SS version, but it is a Dale Earnhardt numbered truck. Jane said, take care, three-wheeler. Rumble said, three-wheeler, take care. Carlos said, that's great, Pops. Big says, NDP, chat, whoop. Letter says, I'm hoping that goes good for Randy. I know he's been going nuts, cooped up with the horses. They pick on him, and he misses his family. Yes, it is what it is. Let's see, but hopefully he'll be out soon. Three-wheeler says, apologize for what? You ain't got to worry for whatever it was. That's good. Like I said, thank you. Classic Cars said, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for stopping in. Carlos said, what's up, Big? Mike said, evening, CCR. Jane says, oh, Big. Classic car says, hey, long. Rumpel said, classic car, hello. Three-wheeler says, oh, damn it. I was about to leave until David got here. Oh, hi, David. Mike says, how are you doing? Jay said, hi, David. Classic said, hey, Max. Vic said, and yes, it's me, the Ford lover. Classic car said, hi, Jane. Mike said, hi, Big. Classic said, hey, Rumple. Three-wheeler says, I'm Max, FYI. You want me to call you Max, three-wheeler? See, Classic car says, I'm tired. Poured concrete today. Whew. Be glad when I'm able to say that. I poured concrete here. Matthew says, I'm going to kill me a doctor. I understand. Adam says, hey, y'all. Long Mike says, hello, Max. Big says, yeah, say that, NDP. I'm unsubscribing. James said, three-wheeler, I figure you were Max. See, Mike says, Daryl, how are you? James says, hey, Adam. Adam says, I'm driving, so I'm just going to listen. Thank you, Adam. I do appreciate your time. Checking in while you're driving. Thank you very much. Carlos says, be right back. Going to take a shower. James said, hi, Matthew. Lotus said, concrete sucks. No, water sucks. Lotus said, I poured it last week. Matthew says, hi, Adam. Lotus said, what's up, Adam? Matthew said, hi, Jane. Matthew says, I got 5 pins put in my foot today, Randy. Oh, man. I hate that. I know that right there is going to hurt for a while. Mike said, yes, pouring concrete does suck and hard back breaking work. Oh, Mike knows how to pour concrete. All right. Guess what, Mike? Jane said, Lotus, what happened to concrete? Adam said, I'm going to be doing a live shortly after Daryl's premiere. All right. Jane said, Matthew, why are you going to kill a doctor? Matthew said, Adam. Adam says, got some cool stuff in the mail today. Mike said, no, Hippo, no. I found out there's somebody else in this live that don't like that song just as much as you don't, there, Mike. Rumble said, I can pour concrete too. I may not pour it right, though. Hey, I can pour it too. But if it gets poured and it accomplishes what I'm wanting, it don't matter if it's right or not, as long as we get her done. John Deere said, what's up, Grease Spot? James said, Matthew, they just did your surgery today, question mark. Olivia said, who going live? I believe that's Grease Spot Garage, Adam, Olivia. Lotus says, I had to pour 10 pillars for a deck. We are building with wheelbarrows and shovels. Yes, that would suck. Mike said, who is that? Adam said, Mike is going to be pouring a burnout pad. Mike, prepare yourself. Boy, Adam got it. Matthew said, Jane, because the damn doctor put 5 pins in my foot. Yeah, but the doctor didn't break it. He just fixed it. Jane said, Adam, going live after Farrell? Lotus is starting framing tomorrow. Jane said, Daryl. Matthew said, yes, Jane. Mike says, Adam, my concrete pouring days are well over. I would pay to have that done now. Hot dog, y'all hear that? Mike just said he would pay to pour my concrete. Daryl said, I'm not shocked, Cap Jane. Matthew says, Adam, I would, Jane, but I got to go off to Daryl and my phone is dying. Also, Jane said, I know, Farrell, I meant Daryl. Adam said, Matthew is going to have more metal in his body than I got in. More metal in his body than I got in one leg. Daryl said, Lo. Mike said, I'm going to retract this message. Let's see, Daryl said, Adam, I found a stocking stuffer for you. See, Adam said, now that worries me, Daryl, Jane, Matthew, pins are better than letting your foot letting your foot dangle. Matthew says, Adam, how dare you? Adam said, I'd like to have a foot to shove in a stocking. Yeah, some people complain because they got pins in their foot. Other people would love to have a foot with pins in it. Not a pin to put a foot of the shoe over. Daryl said, send a pic to you. Matthew said, Adam, ha ha. When you think your life's bad, there's somebody else out there that would love to have the life you're living. The life you're complaining about, somebody would love to have it. Jane said, hope your foot heals without complications. Mike said, hey, Matthew. Matthew said that pins ducking hurt. Who wants pins? Somebody that don't have a foot would love to have a foot with a pin in it. Adam said, Daryl, that is wrong on so many levels, but absolutely hilarious. Daryl said, the foot generally heals fast. I broke all the bones in mine and was walking fine a week later. Damn. Matthew said, oh, I got to go. Loans here. Daryl said, Lord, Adam. James said, I've got pins. They aren't bad. They aren't what hurts. It's all the damage you cause to yourself. Listen to Jane. Tell him, Jane, I'm so mad I can't. Matthew said it's been broke almost a month now, Daryl. And he just now putting pins in it. Why is that? Seemed like that right there would heal wrong, wouldn't it? But I'm no doctor. Daryl said, but yours was crushed, not just broke. Yeah, Matthew said, yes, I broke it 10-17-25. Lotus says, going to run, guys. Cleat race about to start. All right, Lotus, have a good one. Thank you, buddy, for stopping in. See, Matthew said, Daryl. Daryl says, and they had to fix yours. Mine they wrapped and said it will heal. Matthew says, how dare you, lol. Jay said, Daryl, whose was crushed? Daryl said, Matt's was. Lotus says, and hit the like button. Matthew said, Daryl, don't tell her. Jay said, take care, Lotus. Daryl said, too late. Don't worry, Matthew. We won't tell nobody. We'll keep it amongst us. There's only showing 8 people in here. We won't tell nobody. Shh. Matthew says, I know. I was just joking, bud. Scoob says, what we talk about. Man, anything anybody wants to talk about. Our life will go from one thing to the next. We're here to have a good time. We like having a good time, had good conversations. Appreciate you stopping in. Let's see. James said, hi, Scoop. Scoop, well, happy Friday, folks. Well, happy Friday to you too, buddy. Thank you. Libby said, hey, Pop-Pops, check this out. I think I did good. Did you send it? Let's see. Matthew said, I just got a notification from Daryl's YouTube. Daryl said, since I couldn't work today, we went to eat and stopped at a store called Dunham Sports. They have a wall probably 60 foot tall, 60 foot long floor to ceiling with nothing but guns. Y'all, I'll be back. Cool. Jane said, we talking about stupid stuff we do and how we have to accept consequences for our stupid actions. I was fixing to say, I don't think you sent it, but there it is. Nice. That looks pretty good, Olivia. Let's see. Randy said, stupid tree. Randy, did you make the order we talked about today? I forgot to ask you before you left. I don't remember if we talked any more about. I know I don't talk about it, but did you? We were going to order. Make that order. Did we do it? Jane said, "Lol, stupid tree." Matthew said, "Little Randy." Olivia says, "Back. What you think?" If you're asking me, I think it looked pretty good, Olivia. Heck of a lot better than me. Let's see. Jane said, "What's on your mind, Scoop?" Am I saying it wrong? Let's see. My froze. Is this thing doing this stupid jump? There. Okay. Thought the live froze there for a minute. Well, it did on my screen. Daryl said 46 minutes tonight, not 50. Well, Daryl, Randy was here to help me out a little bit, so he made the video for tomorrow. and I'm going to be able to enjoy a little bit more than I have been. So I want to tell Randy thank you. Jane said, I picked up last of the leaves for a year. The mower is tucked away. Damn. Let's see. Randy said, you'll have to tell me after the live what order you're talking about. Okay. Let's see. Daryl said, thank you. Yes, thank Randy, because that really helped me out. Him being able to take care of that. That I'm going to be able to, I might even be able to watch your live. I mean, do your premiere, see the Adam's live, and I might still be able to catch me a movie. I think I might relax today. I do have my car up on Fireball up on the lift though, so I did get under it a little bit, tidy up some wires that's been ripped out from all the bull BS that we've been having to do to it. I think the old car like being on the lift. It's ready. It's getting ready. Randy was able to fix the linkage on it. I think we got it fixed, or I think Randy got it fixed. So I'm anxious to put it down and pull it outside to see if the linkage is fixed. Angel says, hi, I'm a kid. Do not. Meadow said, nice. See, Angel said, time me out. Why would I time you out? Oh, do not time out me. As long as you're, we're here to be nice, and as long as you're nice, we surely don't want to time you out. We don't like that. Jane said, last night I found myself sleeping while Daryl Springer was still home. For some reason, I've been wore out. Jane, when I hit the bed last night, I was dead. Now, I'm telling you what, I was so glad to lay down. I was tired yesterday. Angel said, okay, thank you. I do appreciate you stopping in, though. When you say kid, what kind of age group you talking about? Let's see. Daryl said, I slept 2 hours last night. Jason said, I think it's the time change still messing with me. Let's see. Angel said, because please, people do not like kids in their stream. Like I said, oh, I'm 8. Well, welcome. You're the youngest one that I know of, but we all try to be nice and friendly. We do appreciate you coming in. So, long as you act like you got some sense, you're welcome here. Jane said, welcome, or Angel, welcome. Daryl said, tonight I'm taking 2 muscle relaxers so I can sleep. Angel said, thank you, Jane. Matthew said, invite me, Daryl. There you go. Carlos says, well, I'm back. And he said, oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Cool. I saw that. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's just go right here. Now you got 265 subscribers. I subscribe to you there to help you out a little bit. Let's see. Daryl says, we have kids in here, and as long as everyone is civil, all welcome. Exactly, Daryl. Jane said, Carlo, you all so scrubbed up? Matthew says, oh, Daryl, guess what? Angel said, thanks. You're welcome. Like I said, I'm glad to have you in here. We got a good, positive group of people here, and everybody likes looking out after everybody. We do this every day at 6 p.m. unless, like tonight, it come up. It was a little bit late, but at 6 p.m. Eastern time, every day we could do a live. Daryl said, Matt, what? Well, what, Matt? Jane said, Angel, we don't talk about religion or politics, so we also try not to offend anyone. That one is a little bit harder, but we try hard not to. Let's see, Daryl said, but today, hello. Carlos says, yep, all ready for my visit from Sofa. Jane? Matthew said, I got paint markers, so now I can paint like you. Matthew said, lol. Daryl said, ha ha. Randy gets out of that chair. We got some, we got painting on the to-do list too. We have definitely got to get a white and blue truck so that it's not white. Some people like white. I'm not one of that some people. I do not like white. I don't want a white vehicle of ours. I can tell you that. Let's see. Daryl said, ha ha. Or did I just say that? Let's see. Jay said, lol. Well, we do try not to, but on some days we just can't help ourselves. That's right. We just, text somebody, see what they're doing, get them to come into live. Then they get all offended. Matthew said, yeah, it's for paper. Beth, hello, Beth. Said, I don't like white vehicles either. There's just something about them. If I buy a white vehicle, it's about got to be a dang good deal. I can tell you. Mike said, Angel, I just gave you a sub also. So I have 266. Jane said, Pops, do I need to call you and tell you how to say... No, Jane, it'll come to me in a minute. I have to listen to my inner thoughts and listen to how Randy tells me to say it. Daryl said, white is fleet in trucks and SUVs. Jane said, hi, Beth. Olivia said, shut up, old man. You're completely screwed up my paint job. Remember, I didn't. I did not. Remember, it was all Lotus. He's the one that owes you for it. I didn't. Daryl says, my Fury will stay white, but I'll change it up. Mike said, she won't say honky truck. Angel said, retracted the message. Matthew said, that's what I'm doing right now, using my paint markers to make my new car design. I have 4 cars I need to do something with. Yo man, got his, I figured with that name he would say something wrong. Daryl said, R3 going to call. I doubt it. It showed he left home, so he went somewhere. James said, sat without fat, without tea. Angel said, JB. See, John Deere or Jacob said hi. Jacob said hi again. Safa? And he said, everybody hates a job. Yes. Yes. Well, if you're enjoying yourself, it's not really a job. Angel said, that's the word. Jacob said, well, everybody's got to work and make a living. We have no choice in it. That's right. Jane said, Angel, if you find a job that you love, You'll never work a day in your life. That's right, Jane. And Angel said, ha. Mike said, hi, ayo. Angel said, I just hurt myself. That's not good. Jane said, yes. Whoop. Oh, me. Getting real close to time for Daryl. Let's see. Olivia said, Angel, don't let them lie. They had a group effort. We just only blame Lotus as a joke. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to anybody. We all did pick around and text Olivia. She don't have to worry about it happening again on this end. We won't bother her. But she did get upset. Let's see. It says, okay, you can call me Zane. Zane? Is that right? Z-A-N-E. Is that right? Zane? Jane said, Mike, AEO is John Deere, also known as Jacob. Jacob said, whoop, whoop. Daryl says, I didn't. Zane said, yes, okay. Jacob said, what do you mean, Jane? Let's see. Mike said, oh, too many different names, same people. My little pea brain can't take it. It's a lot to remember, but if people come in here every day, I will get it. Let's see. Zane said, and last name is Waddell? Waddell? Let's see. Olivia says, no, I wouldn't say that. I'd say frustrated for not communicating well to all of you that I was busy. Jacob's laughing. Chris, question, joke for you. Where do fish keep their money? I don't know. Where do fish keep their money? Daryl with Mike says, what are you talking about, Mike? Zane said, yes. Waddell, you don't have anybody named Skip Wardell, do you? I know a guy I used to work with named Skip Wardell. Waddell. Jacob said, P, bring along my wrench garage. You got me on that one. Mike said, don't start with me, Daryl. Chris said, Riverbank. I like it, Chris. That's cool. Daryl said, Lowell. Daryl said, but. No, I don't have a name like that. Okay, I just was wondering. I used to work with somebody like that, Zane. Jane said, poof, Riverbank, nice, clean joke. Yes, thank you. We like it. I did this all wrong today. I'll tell y'all what. You can tell I wasn't as prepared as I usually am. But anyway, it's right at 8 o'clock, and everybody I'm gonna take a real quick little break here. Everybody jump over to Metal Art Customs Premier. Keep the conversations going. I do appreciate everybody coming in, and to the true new people that come in, thank you. Y'all have a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this, and remember, keep it silly. Thank y'all.